Hello, thank you for joining me. These videos are for August 2022 using a sidereal zodiac for both ascendants and moon signs. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the months generally speaking and see what's happening in the month of August 2022. Firstly, I use sidereal zodiac. So if you want to know in sidereal zodiac, which is different, it's like 23, 24 degrees behind the Western astrology. So if you wanted to find out how, what your ascendant or moon sign is, you can use a wonderful app, although it's quite complex, called Cosmic Insight. Put your details in and it tells you what your ascendant is and your moon sign. And then you can just watch along, watch both, ascendant for your path and moon for how it feels. I'm also very big on intentions and manifestations. So there are 3 dates in this month of August that you can do that. You can do it on the 5th of the month when moon is in Swati, and then 17th moon is in Ashwini. Swati is in Libra and Ashwini is in Aries, and then again at 31st of the month moon will be again back in Swati. So 3 opportunities to do these. The way I do them, I normally do it on white piece of paper, blue ink, and first of all say gratitude to the universe, and then I write in detail what I want. You've got to be specific, because if you want to say I want a job and then you just, that's it, you want to just like write it down and put it, it's not going to work. You have to put energy towards that. So your energy, what you put energy in is what you manifest. And you got to, so you want to write down what type of job, what sort of progress you want to have, what sort of training, what type of people you want to work with, and just be very specific: salary, location, how much you want to travel, all that kind of stuff. And then write it down, and then thank the universe, and then leave it in the northwest of your property. That's how I normally do it. So it's really nice to do that and just use very empowering words, because words are, like you say, can you spell that word for me? Spelling, put a spell on the universe. That's what you want to do, manifest really good things. And that's the reason why I always discourage people from using difficult words. You want to use empowering words, positive, abundant words. That's what my teacher always used to say, just be abundant. So that will be the way to do it. So that's another thing to just bear in mind for the month. And so I wanted to just say, obviously, we've had since the 16th of July, we've had this opposition where Sun has been in Cancer, and Saturn retrograde has been in Capricorn since the 13th of July. So we have this opposition going on, which is quite difficult, but we're all going through it. So just be aware of yourself, be careful with your dad, and also just bear in mind that this is going to be difficult, but it's only till the 18th of the month, and then after that all will be good. But this is quite a time for governments and politicians and leaders. So we are just kind of disposing of the ones around the world. World is just purging all the people who are not leaders, who are not for the people. So that is what's really happening, and it's going to continue doing that. So watch out for some more happening this week and so forth. Well, probably till the 18th actually. So also Rahu, the whole of the month is going to be in Aries. That's the north node of the moon in Aries, and K2 is going to be, or south node will be, in Libra. And then we have Saturn in Capricorn retrograde, Jupiter is in Pisces retrograde, so both of them nice and strong in own sign. And we till the 11th, roughly about the 11th of the month, Mars will be in own sign, which is Aries. And what else we have? Sun obviously goes from the 18th, goes in own sign, Leo, so that will be amazing too. So these are the themes. So, but how we start the month for everyone is Mars, Rahu in Aries. Venus will be beginning of the month in Gemini, a friendly sign. Sun will be in Cancer, Saturn in Capricorn retrograde, Jupiter in Pisces retrograde, K2 Libra, Mercury in Leo, and Yeah, and there is also just want to just tell you about the it's obviously a 31-day month. So as I said, there's all these opportunities to manifest things for yourself, etc. And but what I do with each of the ascendants as I do them, somebody did comment about yogas. What do yogas mean? So I'm just going to finish this video and I'll do a very short video on what yogas are in astrology. So I do apologize, but I do have videos. You can go and visit them and they give you much more information. So I'll do that in the next video. And obviously, if you can just skip that bit. I'll put the time in the details below. Thank you very much. Okay, so what are yogas? Yogas are a combination when there's an influence between planets and houses. So normally, obviously, the most beneficial of the kind of yogas are when trinal and angle houses, or the lords of them. By lords, I mean by the lords, but lords are literally the planet that rules that house. There's a combination of them that have some form of influence for each other. So, for example, say if you have Mars. Mars is the first and eighth house ruler for say for Aries Ascendant. So when Mars is in conjunction with Jupiter, which rules the 9th and 12th house for Aries, they create this sambandha, this kind of like combination of first and ninth house. First house can be an angle or a trinal house. But for the sake of this, we're going to say it's an angle house coming in connection with the ninth house ruler. So in that case, they're creating a Raja Yoga because an angle and the trinal house or lords, they've become combined. They can, but I know they rule 8th and 12th house too, but that doesn't matter because 8th and 12th house, although they are difficult houses, but they don't break any yogas. Only breakage is when 6th house or 6th lord is is in this combination. So in which case it breaks the yoga, and the fruits of that will come much later because 6th house is a house that is like upachaya, they call it. It gets better with time. So we get to learn how to manage ourselves, how to deal with obstacles of life. Then you can get fruits from it, from your hard work. So basically this is what happens. I always look at Raja Yogas, Dana Yogas as well, because these two, Dana Yoga is for wealth and Raja Yoga is for success. Sorry, I think something happened with my internet then. Yeah, so I always look at those. So those are important. Dana yogas are very important for a relationship because second house is family, 11th house is gain of something, gain of relationship, family, etc. And so trinal houses are first, 5 and 9th houses. Angles are first, 4th, 7th, and 10th. So these are obviously very important auspicious houses. And any planets that rules them also becomes an auspicious planet, unless if they rule the 6th house, in which case the combination will not get many fruits. So, and if you're lucky, that happens in your D1, which is your natal chart, or your D9, which is in astrology. Vedic astrology is very important. That really confirms the actual strength of all your planets. So if they repeat in that, then it means they're very, very successful yogas. And if they repeat in your D10, which is your career chart, then yes, fantastic. They continue those successes into that as well. So this is what I mean. But please look at my yoga. I have Raja Yoga and Dana Yoga videos. I sometimes also say Mahapurush Yoga. Mahapurush again is elevation, success, and accomplishment yoga as well. This is when a planet is a good planet for the ascendant. Say, for example, for Taurus ascendant, what happens is like Saturn rules their 9th and 10th house. So on its own, because it rules an angle and also a trinal house, 9th house and 10th house, if it goes in any house, it's going to, apart from the 6th house, or becomes involved with Venus, because Venus rules their 6th house. Then if it doesn't has a combination with it, but if it goes in any other house, Saturn on its own can create Raja Yoga for them. But if it's in their if Saturn happens to be in their in Aquarius, it will create what is called a Sasha Yoga for them, Mahapurush Sasha Yoga. So this means of, again, elevation, accomplishment, etc. If for example, for Aries Ascendant, what happens if Jupiter is in their 4th house, which is Cancer, and it will be exalted, or if it is in their 9th house, which is their Sagittarius, then it creates a Hamsa Yoga, again, of success, because it's gone into, it's really strong. It's exalted, or in own sign. In that case, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn can create these Mahapurush yogas. So please watch these videos about them, so you can actually enhance your knowledge of these yogas. Thank you. Aries Ascendant or Aries Moon for August 2022. Let's have a look at the chart for the month. Okay, so we start the month with your Ascendant Lord, Mars, in the 1st house. So it's nice and strong in own sign. 8th house ruler in the 1st house. 1st house ruler in the 1st house. So basically, it could just mean that you want to change your image, change how you look, change the clothing that you wear, that kind of thing going on, particularly with Rahu being there. Have an unusual look. Some of you might go for like maybe a 90s look, 60s look, try something different, or change your hairstyle, that kind of thing. It's quite nice, a change. You might also want to just, you become much more interested in things like astrology, the occult, tarot readings, things like that. So I would really encourage that, because it's quite fun. And Rahu is going to be in your 1st house for the next, obviously, year and a half roughly. And it just means that you want to make a lot of changes to yourself. And Ketu is in your 7th house. So it could be that you're not really that bothered. If you're not in a relationship, you're not that bothered about being in a relationship, or you want to be with people who you have got like this nice past life connections with. Or if you are in a relationship with somebody, you want to kind of connect, because Ketu is obviously you are with somebody in a previous life, and you can create a little bit of independence in relationship if you've been married for a long time. You both becoming quite spiritual in your own way, and that could encourage that really during this time. You also have your 10th, 11th house ruler Saturn is retrograde in your 10th house. So you are working hard, but in a more passive way, rather than, because obviously for the last 2.5 years, you've been working really, really hard. But now you kind of got a lot of experience under your wings, and you just want to take it easy and just enjoy being with your friends and things more, and just have a good balance between work and home. For you also, at the moment, for obviously in the world, we have Sun in actually, I'm going to go a few hours. Let me just go back, because at the very beginning of the month, let me just go 1 hour forward. Okay, so what happens is, this is the 1st of the month, and so basically is Sun is your 5th house ruler is in the 4th house, and your 4th house ruler Moon is in the 5th house. So you have an exchange between Sun and Moon very first day of the month. First couple of days, it will start like 31st of July and 1st of August you have this. So where these planets are kind of like in an exchange. And it's quite a nice, it's called the Mahapurush yoga really. When the 5th house ruler is in the 4th house or 4th house ruler in the 5th house, this exchange, it's really nice. So it's making you feel really good about life, feeling quite secure, happy. It gives that kind of feeling of abundance, really. Sun being across from Saturn, obviously Saturn is a major sort of although this is also like 10th house ruler aspect in the 5th house ruler, so it's in itself is pretty good for work, but it can give you kind of bosses that are a little bit difficult, you know, a little bit like egotistical. Mars is also aspect in the 4th house aspect in that Sun, and so is Jupiter. So there's a lot of influence on your 4th house where there could be like at home, maybe your mum actually, there could be like, you know, you're feeling like, or they're being a little bit like cramming your style or something like that. But actually it's not really, because Jupiter is also aspect in it. So all in all will work out fine. But what I would say is if your dad, you know, check in with your dad, because this is really more about the father, because Sun is the significator of dad, and it's being aspected by 2 first-class malefics, Saturn and Mars, even though Jupiter is aspecting it and is blessing it, but nonetheless, so just check in with them, make sure the family is okay, particularly your dad. So, and you got Venus in the 3rd house, the 2nd house ruler in the 3rd house. So you want to do fun stuff with family and loved ones, really. You know, Gemini is a fun sign. It's about like going picnicking, going for walks, going to the woods, you know, going to the seaside, having days out, weekend breaks, going to the theatre. Very expressive, you know, it's just lovely. And the ruler of your 3rd house, Mercury, is in the 5th house, again, very expressive. So yeah, just enjoying that. And then your 9th house ruler is in the 12th house. So again, it's a dad thing. 12th house, although Jupiter is strong, it's also hospitalization, rejuvenating after, you know, recuperating after being poorly. So look after your dad for sure. Okay, so on the 2nd and 3rd, you have Moon opposite Jupiter. So this is a 6th house. So it could be that mum is poorly, or maybe you're thinking about, you know, healing your own nutrition and looking after yourself. Your well-being is very much the key, is on your mind. But definitely look after, you know, Jupiter and Moon, they help each other, you know, so it elevates that. And you're lucky as well. Oh, I just noticed the Ascendant has moved with this, because what happens is, let me just go, if I can go 1 hour. Here we go. Having like Jupiter in your 12th house, it just gives you really, really good sleep, really lovely sleep. Maybe you're also having lovely dreams too. And Moon also are, you know, opposite there. It's getting really a lot of elevation from this Jupiter. It could just be that your mom is really having, like, she's fasting, or you're thinking about fasting, you know, health, you know, doing things for yourself, Ayurveda, exercise, yoga, things like that. It's quite nice. And also being of service to others, which is the best thing, really. So then we have, here we are. So Moon goes into Swati, 4th, 5th of the month. So this is one of the, just check in your area what sort of time this is occurring, really. I'm going to just, yeah. So just it's put your intentions out. It's in the first video of this collection. So if you probably have heard this at the beginning of this video. So this is one of the 3 days this month that you can do that. So this is the first day, Moon in Swati, wonderful for that yoga. And also what brings together, it brings 4th house ruler in the 7th house being aspected by the 1st house ruler. So this is wonderful yoga too. Moon and Ketu combination also can give you downloads and make you very psychic. So if you're having fun with your tarot and astrology, it's pretty good. And then for a couple of days, we're going to have Moon in your eighth, fourth house ruler in the eighth house. We can make one really a bit melancholy with the thoughts and things, but Jupiter is also aspecting that Moon and helping it. So it could just be that you just want to just have a couple of days in, not really connecting with others so much. That could happen between 6th and 8th of August, depending on where you live. So, and at the same time, you can see Venus has gone into Cancer, has gone into the 4th house. So Venus in the 4th house has got directional strength. I always think directional strength, which means basically Moon and Venus like to be in the 4th house. 4th house is home. That's where these are feminine planets. They like to be at home. Sun and Mars, the masculine planets, their directional strength is in the 10th house. That's when they're really strong. And Mercury and Jupiter like to be in the 1st house. That's where they're, intelligence, knowledge, that kind of thing. So, yeah, so Venus is nice and strong in that sense. Sun is strong because it's in a friendly sign. But what happens here, Venus and Sun together, it could just be that if you're single, you meet somebody, we could just be a little bit picky. So we could just, just pick faults on them for very, very sort of small things, thinking that, oh yes, let's you meet somebody you feel as though there's a lot of attraction because Venus and Sun does that. But it's also, you could just say, I don't like the way he walks or she walks, or something very small, and it becomes quite magnified. But equally in the home, it could be that we are feeling like we just want to chill, relax, and just like Venus Moon is indulgent. This is lazy. Venus Sun is quite lazy. Again, indulgent, but in a lazy way. So being at home, being lazy in your pajamas, just enjoying life. And why not? And this is also 5th house ruler with the 7th house ruler. So it's very good for romance as well. So, but this Venus is now cushioning some of those issues between Sun and Saturn, which is great. So let's go forward. And okay, so as you can see, Moon is in the 9th house, 4th house rule in the 9th. That creates a nice Raja Yoga. And now Moon is, so this is like, it occurs the next day actually. So we have like a full moon now on the 11th of August, where it's between your 4th and 10th house. So you want to have that balance between home and work. And that's really the theme for the next couple of weeks. And then for a couple of days, you have Moon opposite Mercury. This is not really great. Mercury is like your thinking, and Moon is like the mind. So there's too much thinking. But also it gives you 2 benefics in your 11th and 5th house. That's the lovely thing, where you do well to be actually spending time with your friends, having fun. And so let's keep going. So Mars now is in sort of from the 11th, really. I think let's go back to Dave. Yeah, from the 11th of August, Mars is in your 1st house, or is in the 2nd house. So this is really nice because it creates a really nice done yoga for wealth. First, you're thinking about money, making money, and also you're also spending money too, because Mars is a planet of does things fast. So as soon as you get in the money, you're spending the money. And it's aspect in own sign, 8th house, and maybe you're spending money on getting readings or astrology, or actually you're getting yourself a deck of cards or something like that. But there's going to be like Mars is protecting that, and Mars is also like maybe you're spending money going on holiday, because it's also aspect in your 9th house of travel. But it's also aspect in your 5th house of fun as well. Fun, like going to the cinema, going to the theatre, creative endeavors too. It could also be that you're learning some sort of skill that it's to do with, like maybe amateur dramatics or something like that too. And so let's see. And, oh no, sorry. Okay, so it just means that now obviously Rahu is on its own on the ascendant, and that's probably works better when you don't have like I think planets always work better if they're on their own rather than in a conjunction. Right, so Moon and Jupiter in your 12th house. So you now have two benefics in in your 12th house. So it's really great for sleep. It's really great for spirituality, thinking about the other realms and things like that. It's really great for yoga, saying mantras, meditating, mindfulness, going to an ashram, going to a spa, just really relaxing. It's lovely. And it also brings together 4th and 9th house ruler. So again, another Raja Yoga, and that is reflecting also that you also that's blessing to really good sort of benefics or aspect in your 6th house of service and healing. That's lovely. Maybe you're treating yourself to some massage or facial or something in a spa. Very nice. Then we have on the 16th, Moon in Ashwini, which is one of the days where you are you can put your intentions out. Very nice. And also it's 4th house ruler in the 1st house. So, and Moon and Rahu, Moon in Aries, obviously Aries is your ascendant. So think about self, thinking a lot of things about yourself. This is good. You're on your own mind. You are very self-motivated. Yeah, that's great. And then we have Sun then moves on the 17th, moves into own sign. So this is lovely because now this opposition 17 to 18 depends on where you live, really. So this is going to be fantastic in the sense that we don't have that Sun Saturn influence with each other, which is great. And also Sun is in own sign. It's a very dignified situation. It's sitting with a friend. Mercury is not combust, which is wonderful. And so this is like it's really good for everybody because it makes the soul, makes us more confident. It's 5th house is intelligence, Sun is intelligence, and it's our soul, it's our vitality. So it's pretty good. But also just remember that Mercury for you guys rules the 6th house. So again, maybe Dad is still kind of recouping if he's been poorly. So being aware of that. So because Mercury is communication, make sure you communicate with your dad, so okay, so next. Okay, so now we have Moon Mars together. Moon is exalted. It kind of happens on the 18th, really, if I go back a few hours. Yeah, I don't want to do that too much because it's going to change so Moon is, so this is 1st house ruler and 4th house ruler together. Moon is exalted, so this is pretty nice for home. Those of you, if you have this combination of Moon and Mars, as long as it's not in the 6th house and they're good planets for you, it's really good. It's a yoga for property and land because Mars rules land, Moon rules home. So very nice. But yeah, so you could be you're quite motivated about doing things to do with your family, for your close relatives and friends, and and you're very much aware of like wanting to spend time with them. So and now we have on the 20th, it could then we have Mercury going in own sign. So this is 6th house, 3rd house ruler in the 6th house, nice and strong. Mercury in the 6th house, in Virgo particularly, is practical. It can compartmentalize, finish one job at a time. It's very intellectual. It's very service oriented. So this is wonderful. So if you're a teacher, you're really enjoying teaching younger people and students, that kind of thing is wonderful. So Mercury is an own sign. Look at that. Jupiter own sign. Saturn is an own sign. There's an exchange between Venus and Moon. So things are really pretty good up in the skies. Amazing. And then we have Moon goes into leaves Mars and is now in your third house. So you're feeling like you want to communicate with your mum. Okay, actually, I'm just going to go back one day. I just wanted to also, if your dad has been poorly, just look at this. Your fifth house, sun basically is hemmed by two major benefics. So actually, it could be that if they have been poorly, they start recouping at this point. So, and it's also your fifth house is house of children, house of. So for those of you who are trying for children, this will be a really good time. And also education is fifth house. Fifth house is also romance. So those of you who are single, this could be quite a good time. Okay. But you know, you got to just like, you got to make sure you let the universe know that you're looking for love. Okay. So Moon and Venus both now in the fourth house. So both got directional strength. Really nice. So gives you a wonderful, you know, you want to have that balance, you know, it's indulgent. Maybe you have friends over, do a party, you know, entertain people, cook for them. That would be a nice day to do that, 24th of August. And then, so look at that, sun is being fantastic, isn't it? It's like literally has got 3 benefics now either side. Absolutely stunning. So fantastic. Let's go back. Okay, so Moon is own sign as well. It's lovely. Just see that sun's still being aspected by that Mars though. So, but luckily, sun has been protected by these benefics. Okay. And this Venus and Moon together brings together two kind of like a second house ruler and fourth house ruler. And don't forget Saturn is 11th house ruler. So this, like, since the 17th, you had your second and 11th house rulers actually aspecting each other. So it's very good for money. It's called the Dana Yoga. Okay. So now we got like, actually, I'm just going to go back maybe a few. I should have gone an hour really. So basically it's I don't know what I'm doing there. Oh my goodness me. Okay, so we do have like a new moon occurring on the 27th of August, and this is obviously happening, but it's happening in Magha. I'm just trying to go back, but it's just changing the ascendant. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's do this. Anyway, on the 27th, let's just go back. There is like there is this a new moon occurring in Magha. Actually, will be, so it's all about like your genes, your heritage, your lineage is really much, very much the focus. Where some people might actually the next 2 weeks want to think about having a family, starting a family if you've been in a relationship. And if you are not in a relationship, it's very much about love. Fourth and fifth house, you know, it's about love coming from kindness and from that heart chakra. Really like viewing everything, you know, because this aspect in the 11th house, just being open to just like with your community coming from your heart, you know, like helping others, that kind of thing. It's really lovely because there's two luminaries, both sort of aspect in the 11th house of other people, humanitarian groups, being, you know, involved with groups that you love. But yeah, this is very much like next 2 weeks, it's very much about fifth house stuff of children, romance, that kind of thing. And then so lovely that Mercury is that strong there. And now we have like on the 29th, we have situation, Moon is with Mercury, not a very good combination. So look after your mom. Make sure you don't exchange any words that can be upsetting, because obviously Jupiter is still 12th house lord and Mercury is 6th house lord. So you don't want to be upsetting your mum. And then Moon in Swati at the end of the month. So one thing I didn't actually mention, on the 17th, Moon was in Ashwini. So the 3 days for your to put your intentions are the 5th, the 17th, 16th, 17th, depending on where you are, and obviously the end of the month, 31st of the month, to get your heart's desires. And the good thing is with this one now, Mars is not across from Mars. Moon is now across from Mars. That's pretty good. So this is how we leave the month, really. Sun is still being hemmed between two benefics. Venus is obviously not quite comfortable, but however, this is also 7th house ruler in the 5th house, so it creates a Raj Yoga, and 7th house ruler with a 5th house ruler. But how amazing! Look, Sun is strong, Mercury is strong, Jupiter is strong, Saturn is strong. Fantastic. So that's it from me, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.